Let us look at different modifications and data transformation that Power Query can help us achieve in Excel. The first one that we are going to look at is when you want to convert data from long to wide. So we have our data here that is arranged in a column whereby we have a name, we have the location, and we have age. Then the same characteristics or variables are repeated for the different candidates. Angela Kampala 16, Muganzi Kabarore 21, Simon Mukono 18. So we would want to have this data converted from column, and we convert it into a table with 3 columns with name, district, and then with age, and also include the titles of the columns. As we can see in this, we have a name, district, and then age. Sometimes when you go to some of the tools, or depending on where you are getting data from, you might get data that is in this format. One of the important uses of Power Query is that however big such a data may be, the Power Query is able to help you transform this format into this tabular format, and we shall see how that gets to be done in Power Query. One of the most important applications of Excel is merging multiple files from the same folder. Assuming we have files in this folder called branch sales state, we start with 2 of them. Then we have additional files which are a total of 33 items in another folder called branch sales add. When we import data from our initial folder, the branch start, then we find that 1,507 rows have been loaded into our table. You can go on and have this data tabulated and summarized in the pivot table. So you can see that this data has 2 branches, branch 1 and branch 2, and the total sales from these branches is 44 million. When we have additional branches copied from this folder and pasted into the original folder, and then we come and refresh our data by clicking on the refresh all button, we can see that the total branches are now 35 from 1 up to 35, and the total shares amount 2.433 billion, and we can see that our total rows have now increased from 1,557 that we had when there were 2 files to now 70,345 rows all together. So that is the magic of Power Query in combining data from multiple files in the same folder as one of the important applications for Power Query. Another transformation that we would want to use to appreciate the power of Power Query is looking at a data that's also extracted from the system, where you have sales data with date, sales representative, unit sold, the product, the price, the discount, and the region. But this data is not tabulated. It is jungled up with all the attributes of data in one column, and we would want to separate these attributes and put each of them in a separate column. As we can see data here that has been cleaned up. We have date, we have sales representative, we have units, product, price, discount, and then region. So Power Query is so powerful that it can go about cleaning and transforming this data into our desired format. And here is another challenge that can be solved by Power Query, and I'm sure the lovers of the VLOOKUP function will be very interested in this, and those who probably have struggled with the VLOOKUP function, you're likely to have something that is a bit interesting and easier for you to grasp. When you have a case of a table, for example, this is our sales table. It indicates sales agents and the products that have been sold and the units for each of the products. But this table does not have anything to do with the purchase price and the sales price. Imagine you would want to compute the cost of goods sold and also to compute the revenue from the sales. It is not possible for you to do it without attaching prices to each of these items. Now, you have prices in a separate table. You have the unit cost and the sales price. But you would want to ensure that for each of these items, their prices are respectively allocated to the sales table. This can be easily done with Power Query, and you end up with a merged table that has the sales agent, the product, the unit cost, and the prices. Note that these 2 columns of unit cost and unit prices have actually been made possible by combining the sales table with this table of the prices. So we shall also have an opportunity at looking at how we can achieve this using Power Query. If you're here hearing about Power Query for the very first time, take it as the engine in Excel for data cleaning and data transformation. Would you want to become a data transformation expert? Our Power Query course equips you with in-demand skills applicable even beyond Excel. Power Query is an essential skill even for Power BI. Enjoy a full Power Query course with 365-day access of a self-paced nature. In this course, you will learn Excel basics and essentials. In data management analysis, you will learn charting, graphs, and visualization design. You will learn the use of pivot tables to automate reports, data transformation, and the interesting Power Query editor graphic user interface, and its importance in cleaning and transforming of data. Explore Power Query and discover the super magic in Excel, data management, and report automation. Another interesting and challenging data cleaning and transformation is exemplified by the data we have before us. It is a data downloaded from a website, the Bank of Uganda, the central bank, which shows the credit balances time to time for the different sectors and for the different tiers of financial institutions. This is for all institutions. We have similar worksheets for commercial banks and credit institutions and micro deposit taking institutions. And this is downloaded from the website, and from the statistics section we have the credit by sector, and when you click, then a spreadsheet like this gets to open, and the task is to clean and transform this data and automate it in such a way that we have the data in this format. Now we can see that we have the data by sector, then we have which data is given in local currency and foreign currency, and the date of reporting. So for the financial tiers, you can see we combined commercial banks, credit institutions, and MDIs, and then we also have the amounts in all converted into local currency. Now this has already been cleaned and transformed in Power Query, and the end result is that you have your report here where you can organize the data by quarter, by month, by year, and then you can put your filters for financial institutions and for the years and for sectors. So once the data is loaded into the report, then you can generate tables, you can generate graphs. For example, the graph before us shows how credit given out has been changing from year 2016 as shown by our filter. We have filtered 2016 to 2020, and by quarter, this is how it is moving. And then we have year-on-year changes. This is how the credit has been changing by quarter, and the dotted line shows the changes. We have, when it is sloping, it means that the rate of growth of credit was going down. Here we have plotted the one in blue is the loan amount, and then the one in orange is the loan amount for the previous period. So as you can see that the previous period loans are always below the current year credit, apart from a period around 2020 second quarter where we had the fall, and most likely this is attributed to COVID lockdown, whereby enterprises were not conducting business, and there could have been a reported fall in credit. So amazing how data like this can actually be cleaned. And the most interesting part of it is that when the data on the website gets updated, then we shall move from the years. Like here we have years up to 2023. So if we select 2023, 2022, 2020, now when the data gets updated for 2024, then we shall only be able to refresh our spreadsheet, and we shall not need to do any cleaning. We shall not need to do any download. The data is already connected and the cleaning is already automated. Again, when we go back and look at our queries, we can see that the steps that we have gone through to clean our data are well recorded, and this is the power of Power Query, and that means that we have all our processes for data cleaning documented and tracked. Anytime we want to change something or update it, we should be able to open and do it. Otherwise, our data is already automated. And finally, another interesting transformation is in terms of candidate performance for advanced certificate of education. And we have schools by district and then gender female, and we have the number of students that sat in a particular year for each school. And also for each of the years, we also have how they scored between 0 and 5 points. What was the percentage? 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16, 20, 21, 25. And then we go to another year, we start with the total and then the breakdown. These can be very challenging data to analyze, but not when you have Power Query. As you can see, these are gaps that need to be sealed. These totals are things that need to be removed for you to analyze your data, and you cannot analyze data that's arranged like this. The end result is that we have our data that is now arranged like this. Courtesy of Power Query, we have the school district name, the school name, and then we have gender, then we have the year, and we have the number of candidates, and we have a similar table that tracks the percentages. And using Power Query and data modeling in Excel, we can actually be able to make analysis that we would want from this data. By pivoting, we can establish how each school has been improving for the years for which this data is provided. So Power Query is a kitchen, is an engine, it is a laundry for data, and it is unparalleled both in Excel and Power BI. I hope any data analyst and a person interested in improving their data skills and analytic skills and reporting skills should create time and go through the course for Power Query, and everything will be great. The efficiency, the time saved, the promotions at work, the recognition, and the satisfaction and happiness, quality of life. If you're hearing about Power Query for the very first time, take it as the engine in Excel for data cleaning and data transformation. Would you want to become a data transformation expert? Our Power Query course equips you with in-demand skills applicable even beyond Excel. Power Query is an essential skill even for Power BI. Enjoy a full Power Query course with 365-day access of a self-paced nature. In this course, you will learn Excel basics and essentials. In data management analysis, you will learn charting, graphs, and visualization design. You will learn the use of pivot tables to automate reports, data transformation, and the interesting Power Query editor graphic user interface, and its importance in cleaning and transforming of data. Explore Power Query and discover the super magic in Excel, data management, and report automation.